I am so privileged to be able to read for you all today from Mexico City. Today is an eclipse. It is the full moon in Taurus, and it's also the final eclipse in a series of Taurus Scorpio eclipses that started, I want to say either last November or the November before that. Maybe the November before that is when this eclipse series started. So we're bringing closure and roundness to our ideas around our values, around our material goods, around what emotional transformations we may be experiencing and wanting to go through. So I just want to pull a few cards and see what is like the energy of this eclipse. What can we look forward to? What are we shedding during this eclipse? Because eclipses are a great time, especially during a full moon, to really release and shed things that are no longer resonating with who we're becoming. So a few cards for collective. First, we're starting with the devil. This is a phenomenal beginning. So we're starting with the devil. The reason I say this is a phenomenal beginning is because the devil represents stuck energy inside of us. Energy that, I hope that the background noise isn't too distracting for you all. But the devil represents energy that is stuck within us, energy that we don't really know what to do with. As you can see, there's a star on the I want to say it's like this animal creature here, the devil creature. There's a star on its head, but the star is a little lopsided, which indicates that there is creative power, but it's a little topsy-turvy. It just doesn't really know how to be expressed. So my hope is that when I clarify this, we'll get more information about what are we doing with this stuck energy. What's happening with this stuck energy during the eclipse that can inform our choices, that can inform how we might be feeling right now. I know that I haven't really been getting great sleep, and usually during full moons I don't really sleep much because on a very basic level there's just more light in the sky. But during this time I've just been very aware of like intense energy, and it's Scorpio season, so that was gonna happen anyway, right? Okay, but clarifying the devil card, the devil also represents codependency on things that we think are necessary for us to survive. And as you can see, the devil's hand is 2 strings, but the strings are loose. Those people can walk away whenever they feel like it, but they believe that they are dependent. They believe that they need this thing, this energy source, this paycheck, this workplace, this boss, this relationship. They're convinced that they need this, or maybe they need this vibe, or they need this look, right? So with that, we got 5 cards. Okay, this is a great read. So with this, to clarify the devil, we are spending time looking at where we spend our money and time, and looking at how we nurture what we grow in our lives, whether that be for better or worse. And we're noticing, like, where do we need to be more resourceful? Where do we need to be more thoughtful about where our coin is going? Where do we need to identify and analyze, like, is this actually fruitful for me? Is this investment really, is it returning what I put into it? As you can see, the queen here is sitting pretty with her coin, but she spends time lovingly in her garden nurturing what she grows. And if we're in a space where we are investing our hard-earned money, time, attention, and energy, and we're noticing that it's not returning the investment, then this is a perfect time for transformation. So I believe that the eclipse is helping us see where our investments are and where they may or may not be returning. And we're also receiving, I love this, we got the Ace of Wands. We're receiving a fresh start, an opportunity for a fresh start. As long as we speak up about the things that feel like burdens to us. If there's something that feels like an emotional burden for you, or if there's some investment you're making with this Queen of Pentacles and 7 of Pentacles, if there's some investment that you're making that actually feels like it is silencing you, and it's like you keep going back to it, you keep going back to that job, that workplace, that relationship, that idea, that thought pattern. If there's something that we are continuously doing, it's kind of like doing it to ourselves. I'm not saying that we are not also things are not happening to us, but we have a certain amount of power that can shift the energy at the very least, if not change the situation, that can shift the situation. So what I get from this is that the eclipse is going to allow us to see where our investments returning what we're putting in, and then also where can we have a fresh start where we can speak up for ourselves and make sure that we are advocating for what we know that we deserve. We know that we work very hard for what we deserve. So the 10 of Wands and the Ace, when you put the 10 and the Ace together, they represent the King. So I'm kind of looking at this reading as the King of Wands and the 8 of Swords. And so the King of Wands is someone who's always speaking, he always speaks his mind. He may be a little impulsive sometimes, but he's protected through fire. So you might feel a little afraid to say what you need to say in order to rectify whatever situation or energetic investment is not resonating with you anymore. But remember that you're protected at this time. I think that it's very important that we use, work with the energy that is happening in the universe to make changes and shifts in our lives, because sometimes can be easier than others and sometimes can be more difficult. So keep in mind that Scorpio season is about transformation, it's about shedding and release, and it's about change. And if you are feeling like there's an investment you're making, remember how special your energy is. It's very, very special and valuable, and it's really important to make sure that when we're creating and when we're investing our energy in things, that we are not going back to places that harm us because we think that we're dependent on them, or people that harm us because we think that we're dependent on them. There's something also coming that is very it's like focus on thinking, focus on thought patterns. Let's see. Spirit's telling me to go back to this 8 of Swords. Swords energy is air, and air is all about our communication, brain waves, music, sound, like air, thinking, air. So I want you all to think about, where are my thought patterns? How are the thoughts that I'm having creating an energetic, soup base? And how is that base, my base thought, mindset, influencing the physical experience that I have in my everyday life? So I hope this is helpful to you all. In summary, please just take a really honest look at where you're making investments, and also take a look at things that feel like you have to have them, because if something is making you feel like you need it, then it might be really helpful to just think about why do you need this thing, or what does this thing actually pour into me that if I'm pouring into this, am I getting anything back, or am I getting what I need back and what I want back? We have the power to get whatever we want and have whatever we want in this life, but we do need to make sure that it's in right relationship so that we don't get it and then feel like, damn, well, I don't even want this anymore. All right, so I'm sending you all so much love during this eclipse season, and I wish you nothing but prosperous changes and shifts in your life. Be courageous. I'll talk to you next time.